How you doing? This is Mari Cruz, bringing the gap between the rich and the poor, coming for the great state of Texas. And I here have a friend, Julie, and I don't know how you pronounce your name. Can you?
Bjugan.
Bjugan, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Julie Bjugan, and she's going to talk to us about how to take care of your business and your taxes. And this is a very torn issue for me and other people I know, is because it's very complicated here in the United States. And I don't know
Yeah.
if it's as complicated in other countries, but can you please help us? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. So I started off working in accounting. So I was at a big accounting firm for years, and then I switched over to Wall Street. I have a master's degree from the London School of Economics, and then when I went into Wall Street, I started teaching, which was just the best thing ever. I got to spend a lot of time with people who were in banking but didn't really understand banking. So people who were in the HR department or in the IT department, and they didn't really understand what was going on. So
Was that
getting to
common? Because that's
yeah,
shocking to me. That's shocking
yeah.
to me that you're telling me that these people that are supposed to be dealing with money don't understand how to deal with money.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
that's mind
their
blowing.
their job wasn't really the money part of it. Their job was supporting the money people. So they would come in and they would have these jobs. And to be fair, investment banking is pretty complicated. So they
Mm.
just needed to know the terms and the acronyms and it was very empowering for people for them to learn, oh, that's what that means. That's what people are talking about. Because that's the
Wow.
biggest problem in any area is the people in the know speak in almost a different language than everybody else. So
Mm.
until you speak that language, it's really hard for you to communicate and understand what's going on. But once you get that
Wow.
language, the people would come back to me and say, yeah, that class gave me the confidence to stop being a secretary and become a trader, or gave me the confidence to go for a supervisor's job because now I understand what's going on. And that gave me a
Wow.
big boost every time I heard that. So, but
Wow.
I had a baby, and they wanted to send me to London the week after maternity leave, and it was just too
Wow.
much. I know. So I was doing a lot of international travel at the time, and I ended up working for myself for a few years, and then kind of gradually tapered off to being a full-time mom. But since,
Wow.
but during that time, I've taught a lot of classes for small business people, and worked a lot with teenagers, teaching them investing, starting their own businesses, personal finance. And that's been a lot of fun to work with young people so that they don't get themselves into the mess that we all got
Oh
ourselves
my God.
into.
But I had to congratulate you because our American system, and I mean public and college education, is a disaster when it comes to money, handling money,
Absolutely.
and that's why a lot of us are in debt. That's what a lot of us don't know what to do. I mean, and if
Right.
you came from another place, I'm from Puerto Rico originally, and you see your parents uh, bad handling, not knowing how to handle money. That's the blueprint that I had. So I had to like
Absolutely.
fight. I don't think people think that as you see and as you learn is how you're going to act with your money. And
Yeah.
yeah. So how can we help ourselves when we have a business in this area? Because I don't know anything about this, seriously. And
Yeah.
and it took me almost a week for me to do my taxes, and I'm now gonna have to maybe recheck my taxes because they said I was supposed to get something, and then it said no because you put a dependent, but I don't have any dependents, and
No,
I
so you're
don't
gonna have
know.
to,
So now I'm gonna have to recheck those taxes
yeah.
because they said that this is this and that, and I'm like, I don't have any children, so I don't have
Oh,
dependents. So it's me and my husband, married fine jointly. So now I have to deal with that.
oh, well,
And I don't even know how to deal with that because it's my first time doing a business
yeah,
tax.
yeah.
So I don't
Well,
know.
you know what? I've written a book. It's called Badass Bookkeeping, and it's not. A lot of people look at it and think, "Oh, she's going to teach me how to be a bookkeeper," and that's not really my point. My point is for you to understand your business books. So I kind of
Mhm.
go through and talk about taxes and how to set up your different accounts and just the easiest, shortest way to make
Mhm.
your business bookkeeping understandable and accessible. But most what I tell people is if you keep really good, impeccable records, then your taxes can be done fairly easily. I generally do recommend people, when you get to a point where you're making money in your business taxes, you probably will need to get an accountant to file your taxes for you, but you
Mhm.
don't necessarily need an accountant to do your bookkeeping. I mean, that's way overkill for most of us. We don't need to hire somebody, a high price accountant, to do our bookkeeping. We just need to have really, really good records that we can turn over to an accountant. They can just look through and go, oh yeah, this is boom, 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 and they can get you filed in
And
no
what
time.
is the difference in that in between you telling the accountant to do everything? You just do the basic work and then they just recheck it to be sure that everything is okay. Is that what you mean?
Well, if you have, you pretty much need to either have a bookkeeper or do your bookkeeping yourself.
Okay.
So if you have a bookkeeper, the bookkeeper is keeping up with everything. They're making sure that your bills are paid, making sure that everything, all of your booking, all of your business expenses are in an order. Because the main difference is that accountants are expensive. So you don't want an accountant to have to do a lot of work. You want to be able to just
Okay.
hand the accountant your books, and they want to check and see, are all the things that you think are tax deductible, are they actually tax deductible? And that's all you want them to do. You just want them to go in and find out, how are your expenses all set up correctly. And I actually have some resources, and I'll give everybody my information before we're off
Yeah,
of
yeah,
here.
yeah, of course.
But some resources on, here's how to map your expenses to the Schedule C. So even if you want to do your taxes yourself, I can show you how
Mhm.
to map your expenses to the
Yeah.
categories on Schedule C to make it much easier to file your
Oh my
taxes.
God, that will be great. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I have a question. Do you recommend a software for us to keep our receipts, and what do you recommend, or do you prefer the old-fashioned way of putting everything in a box?
You
I'm
know,
ADHD, and I don't know if I could do that because I'm not organized. So I would need physically for me, I need something that will keep me organized, if that makes sense. But depending on how everybody's mind works, what do you
absolutely.
recommend?
Everybody's different. And some people really like to use Quicken or QuickBooks.
Okay.
I don't. I don't like them. It's overly complicated to me. Now, if you're somebody who has a lot of clients and a lot of different products and you're selling and you're shipping
Mhm.
products out, that can be really helpful. But if you're a coach, or if you're an affiliate marketer, if you're somebody that doesn't have you don't need that level of detail. QuickBooks is just overkill. So for the most part, many of us can keep our books just in an Excel spreadsheet. If you think about
Excel.
it,
Okay.
the way that your books work, and the most important thing is to make sure that all of your business accounting is in a separate bank account. So you have all your business money coming in and going out of an account that's separate from your personal stuff. So if you have that, then everything is all in one place. And since accounting is just, you've heard of double entry bookkeeping. So every entry in your accounting books has two sides to it. But in our case, one side is always cash. So you only need to have cash in, cash out, and then whether it was an expense or an income. So there's only maybe 10 columns that you need in an Excel spreadsheet. It's really not complicated. And
Really?
I even have some clients that do it on in a bullet journal. They prefer to write things out by hand and make it
Mm,
beautiful. That's perfectly fine too. It doesn't have to be big and scary and
mm,
overwhelming. But the one thing I will say is, if you're and you the my book is mostly about how you really need to look at your numbers so you can understand how much money your business is making and what you're spending on your expenses. And then what
mhm,
I advocate for people is that when your money comes in, when your income comes in, you separate it out into different accounts. You have an account set up for your taxes, so you know that no matter how much taxes you're going to owe, you've got your money set aside. You have an account set up to pay yourself because you need to get paid for doing this business, and so few of us ever pay ourselves. And then you need
mm,
to have an account set up for your expenses. And that's really helpful, because when you look at that account, you don't see, oh, I've got $1,000 in there. Let me go off and buy this new $1,000 course. You see,
mm.
nope, I only have $500 in there because I took out money for my taxes and I took out money to pay myself. So I adjust my expenses according to what I can afford, not just how much money is flowing into the
So,
business.
so do you need, okay, so you need a business account, or does it have to be a business account, or just
Nope, nope,
a normal account? Okay, so I need a normal account that is only for business.
yep. So
And
all of your
then
stuff.
and you do your spending and you're paying from there and all
Well,
your
Yeah, but I would also say set up some other accounts too. So you get all of your business money coming into this main account, and then out of that, whenever you get a money in, you take a percentage of it and put it in your tax account. You take a percentage of it and put it in. And my book covers this pretty well. It's based on the profit first principle that Mike Michalowicz. He's got some wonderful books, but his books are very kind of accounting and technical. I try to make my book a little bit more conversational and
Yeah,
for people
yeah.
who aren't accountants or bookkeepers to understand. So you're separating out the money. So it's just like, I don't know if your mother was like this, but mine, when she would cash my father's paycheck, she would come home and put money in little envelopes. So she always knew how much money she had for groceries and how much money she had for
Yeah.
eating out or buying
Mhm.
shoes or whatever. So this is you doing that same kind of thing for your business. You always know how much money you've got to pay your taxes and any of your expenses and to pay yourself. Because like I say, we don't do that.
Mm,
So
okay.
it's a little bit more technical. Like there's some ins and outs to it, but I cover it pretty well in Badass Bookkeeping. But the main idea is pay attention to your expenses. Everybody I look at online, everybody who's trying to sell you a product or a process or a course tells you what their revenue was. Revenue is just a vanity number. I don't care how much revenue you brought in. I don't care what your income was. I want to know what your profit was because that tells me how much money
So
you get to
what
put
is,
in your pocket.
I'm sorry, what is the difference between revenue and profit? I really don't know.
Yeah, well, revenue is your sales. So somebody can say,
Okay, sales.
I sold $1 million of products on Amazon last year. Okay,
Okay.
that's great. I could sell $1 million of product on Amazon this week if I was willing to sell iPads for $10.
Mhm.
So your revenue number doesn't really tell you anything. Your income is the revenue minus the cost. So how much did that revenue cost you to get? If you're selling
Mm.
physical products, you had to buy the physical products and you had to ship them and you maybe had to advertise them. Those are some pretty steep
Mm.
expenses. So when somebody tells me my income last year or my revenue or my sales last year was $1 million, not interested. What was your bottom line? What was your profit? How much
Oh,
money did you actually make? And that's the thing. There's so many people who don't know.
okay.
You watch an episode of Shark Tank, and you'll see we brought in $3 million last year. What were your expenses? Oh, 4 million.
So are you
There's so
saying,
many.
so the profit is what you do after you take all the expenses? Is that what you mean?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah. So last year I did $20,000 in my business. But when you count all the eBay fees, because I'm a drop shipper too,
Uh
there was
huh.
$4,000 in fees, and I did a lot of ads and other stuff. So that went to half of it,
Yes.
basically half
Yes.
of it. And I think what saved me in my taxes is because my husband's income is a disability and it's not taxable because he was in the military.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
basically, it doesn't count. That money doesn't count.
Right.
So yeah, I'm trying to understand this because this is very very complicated. And I told my husband this is horrible. I mean, and I'm good with numbers, but I said
Right.
this is over my head. This is over my pay grade.
It's a different thing. It really is. It's not just the numbers. And that's why I started Badass Bookkeeping and all the resources that I've got, because so many of us, we're good at our thing. We're good at making connections or selling or understanding what products people want, but we're not good at understanding the numbers. And I mean, that's
Yeah.
the whole story of your business is your numbers.
So
So
what happened
that's,
when you have more things going out than coming in?
well, then your business has a loss. And
But does that help you in your taxes?
no,
Because
I mean, technically, if your business operates at a loss, it will reduce the taxes. If you're not a corporation, like if you're a partnership or sole proprietorship or somebody that files where your taxes are part of your personal
yeah,
taxes,
that's what I do.
then
That's
yeah,
what I
so
do.
it will reduce your income. It'll reduce your husband's or whatever other kind of income you have. But here's the catch: you can only do that 2 years in a row. If the IRS sees that you have a loss in your business 3 years in a row, they assume that your business is not a real business, that it's just a hobby. And so they'll go back and claw back all of the tax deductions from the past 3 years on you. So you got to make sure you don't run a loss 3 years in a row
Oh
because
my
because
God.
that's a tax loophole. They assume that you're just set up this business in order to reduce your taxes, and that's not okay. So you have to be in business to make money.
Wow. But okay, so but if your income hasn't changed that much before your business and after your business, You see what I mean?
Yeah, but they're not worried about your income from other sources. They're just worried about your business. So did your business make a profit or a loss? So if your
Mm.
business itself made a loss, completely independent of any other money, if your business itself made a loss, then they assume that that business is just a hobby and not a real business.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because that's the thing, a lot of people forget. This isn't a game. This isn't a hobby. This isn't, people talk
And it's
about,
not
well,
easy either. It's not
it's
easy
not
either. I mean, it's
easy.
easy for them to say that, but I mean, if you search me, all I do is work.
Yeah,
So it's not like I'm just sitting here. This is not a hobby
absolutely.
for me.
Right.
I'm in it like
Yep.
for the last 5 years, but
Yep.
the first year and a half, I didn't make any profit
And they
at all.
expect, 2 years is, you're given 2 years to get your business up on its feet. But and there are big corporate. It is different if you're a corporation, because with a corporation, that money's not flowing into your personal, so it's not reducing your personal taxes.
So do you
So
think I should just do a corporation then?
no, not necessarily, because then that brings its own problems, and then you do have to get an accountant involved, and you do have to. So it's
Oh,
a lot more complicated, um,
wow.
but there are things that you can do. Like if you see that your business is losing money and you get to the third year, you're just going to have to accept that you can't deduct all of your expenses. I mean,
But
if you want to keep your
I
business
thought it was
running.
mandatory for you to deduct all your expenses. That's what I read online.
Well,
And I don't know if that's true or not because I am not an accountant and I never dealt
yeah.
with money like this.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean? So,
there are certain things that you can decide are personal development, that they're not really part of your business, because, you are the business. So you can have courses and things that you can say, well, that actually wasn't a business expense. That was a personal expense because it was something I did for myself rather than doing for the
so
business.
AT membership, is that that's a business expense, isn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely is. But nobody's going to force you to take it as a business expense. It is a business expense, but
Um,
you get to choose whether you deduct it from your business income or not. And of course
okay.
you
You
want
see, I
to.
didn't know that.
If your business is making money, of course you want to. You want to take every expense that you're entitled to, as long as you're making money. You got to have
Mm,
income to balance that off against. So, that's the thing that we have to remember, that you're in business to make money. I know we all want to help people. I all know we all want to take care of something, and we want to live a fulfilling life, but the only purpose of a business is to make money. So,
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
so if your business can't sustain the level of expenses that you're spending on it, you got to reduce your expenses. Like
Mm,
you don't keep throwing money at a business that can't sustain the expenses that you have. So that's a big part of badass bookkeeping, is let's take a good hard look at your expenses and figure
wow.
out, what does your business really need to survive? Because if it's not making money, it isn't going to survive. You can't run a
Wow.
business without making money. So
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Wow.
um,
It's just very complicated. Like
it is. It
it's
really
just like,
is.
you know,
It is. And you start
wow.
getting into things like products. A lot of the people that I help are e-commerce sellers. And so one of the things that you have to do when you're in e-commerce is look at each individual product and decide, is this a profitable product or not? And there's so many different ways to look at it. You can look at it as, all right, I can buy this thing for $5 and I can sell it over here for $5, and it looks like you were doing with drop shipping. I buy it for $5 and I can sell it for $10. Well, how much are my fees? How much is it going to cost me to ship this? How much
Yeah.
is my membership in this group, and all of these things? And half the time it shows you're not going to make any money on that
And
item.
what about if you didn't sell it? Because I have a bunch of junk in my bag guest room that I wasn't able to sell because I put it in
Absolutely.
eBay and it didn't want to sell.
It didn't sell.
So it's
Exactly.
there. I have comics and sports cards and a bunch of other things that are just collecting dust. I guess I will have to physically sell them in a how you say, one of those places where you sell in the market. You know,
Yeah.
like you go in
Yeah. Garage sale,
somewhere
or
and you
yeah,
just
yeah.
put it here and then just
Yeah,
sell it, or
flea
a
market.
garage sale or something. But
Yeah,
I'm
something like
like,
that.
yeah,
I
yes,
know. And that happens to everybody. All people who we buy inventory, there's going to be what they call obsolete inventory. So it's stuff that just doesn't sell. And that is an expense of the business. You can expense it, but you probably already expensed it when you bought it. So now it's just sitting there and it's not doing anything for you. So, you just want to get whatever money you can for it.
Mm.
So that is a big part of the business. But that's really
Wow.
my mission, is to try to help people understand this stuff. So I have my book, and then I
Mm.
also I'm about to start up a monthly or a Facebook group, a paid Facebook group for $7 a month, where people can come in. We can have these discussions. We'll have
Mm.
a discussion like this once a week, where we can bring up people's individual questions and figure out, all
Mm.
right, how can we work this out for you? Now, I'm not doing anyone's bookkeeping, and I'm not doing anyone's accounting, but I would sure
Of
love to
course.
help people get
Yeah, yeah.
themselves straightened out and into a place where they can actually feel confident about their numbers. Because I think that's the thing. It
Yes.
scares people. When you don't understand it, it's scary. And it
It
doesn't
is
have
a
to be.
scary,
Yeah, it is, because
especially
it's
when
your
you're dealing
money.
with the IRS.
That too.
That's the scary part because,
Yes, it is.
like, look, now I have to like maybe recheck my taxes
Yep.
and, but at least I did HR block. So maybe they could
Yes.
check it,
Yes.
tell them to check it and see what the heck is the IRS talking. Cause I think they're bare bones. They don't have barely anybody there.
Yeah.
And it's taking it took forever for them to process it and everything. It just slowed down.
Yeah.
And now since they're doing the stimulus checks, they're doing something that was not supposed the IRS was not supposed to be doing. They have a mess. But
Sorry,
anyway.
it became very noisy out there. Yeah, so there's a lot of information that people need. They just need a place to go and ask the questions, and it can be really
Mm.
overwhelming when you don't even know what question to ask. If you just don't even
Exactly.
understand. So that's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to do, is provide a service for people who are running a small business and just need somebody to go and ask the questions of, and somebody who can help them understand it. Because that is what I'm good at. I'm good at explaining these, because I wasn't
Mm.
good at math. I never considered myself to be a numbers person,
Mm.
but accounting I'm good at, and I'm good at explaining it. So that's
Mm.
fun. And it's fun to help people, see people actually look at their business, take a good hard look at it, and realize, wow, I can actually make a go of this. I can make money. It can support me and my family, and I can get my debt paid off, and all of these things. People actually cry sometimes when you go through their books with them, and they get to the point where they were afraid to look at it. And we looked at it together and seen, here's how we're going to fix it, and here's how it's going to get better. And people
Yeah.
get very emotional, because money is a very emotional topic for
Well,
people.
yeah. I mean, exactly. This is how I mean how a lot of people trying to survive. Basically,
Yes.
I don't know if I told you, but I've been secluded in my house for a year and a half
Oh,
because I have lupus and a lot of other health issues. So I'm stuck in my house. So I don't go
yeah.
anywhere. So that's
Yeah.
why I get myself busy with a business and stuff. And I like doing, stuff. But yeah, when that's the only thing you got,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
just, it
You
just,
got to make it work. It's got to work. So let's
yeah. And
make
I
it
don't want to
work.
quit. I
No,
don't want to quit,
no,
so.
absolutely. You've got too many talents and too many gifts. So, getting out there and getting your story out there. But for somebody like me, my talent and gift is helping support people who are trying to
Exactly.
get their talents out there, and make sure that you don't get yourself into trouble financially over your business.
Yeah. So do you have a website or
So
anything?
right now I am having a little bit of website problems, but very soon you should be able to go to babpro.com. That's Badass Bookkeeping Pro. And
Um,
that will give you a link to where you can go and get the book for free, and get onto
okay.
the email list to get some more information about. I'm going to have I've got a couple of workbooks coming out soon. So
Okay.
the Badass Bookkeeping book is free. You can go and download
Mhm.
that, and then that will show
Okay.
you the other things that I've got.
Okay.
And give you the resources. And for people who find that they do want that support, like I said, we're going to be starting the Facebook group in a few weeks, so people can get into that. And we'll have a weekly call, and a place for people to ask questions and discuss
Wow.
this whole thing with each other, because it's you're not alone. I mean, it's as common as so many people that you see in these big competitions, or in these entrepreneur groups, of people who, oh, I made $1 million last year, and our mind immediately thinks, okay, they're a millionaire. No, they're not. They probably spent 950,000 on
Yeah.
expenses. So a lot of these people are still
Especially if
scared.
your job, if your business is a physical one, because at least mine is online, which saves us a lot of
Yes,
expenditures. But
yes,
but still, I don't think people think about that. Because if you have to pay the rent, you have to pay
yes.
a place, you have to pay your computer or whatever it is that you need, all this
Hmm.
everything that you
Right.
need, and it's going to eat into your profits, which is
Absolutely.
the
And
reason
so
why we recommend an online business anyway.
100%. But even that can build up because, you look at this, you say, okay, this is only $10 a month. This is only $50 a month. This is only $500. And it adds up. And it's easy
Yeah.
to lose track
Ain't
of
that
that.
right?
Yeah.
Because I have a lot. I have StreamYard, I have TubeBuddy, I have
Yep.
the membership for AT.
Yeah.
I bought Filmora Pro video editor,
Wow.
and I don't
Yep.
even remember all the other stuff that
I know.
I
I
pay
know.
every month because I have a business.
Yep. Yep.
But you know
And so
what?
that,
Yeah, we're talking about this because I don't like, and it makes me angry when a lot of people say, "Do this, do $10,000 in a month with affiliate marketing," and they don't tell you everything that you need to that you need to have an autoresponder, that you need to have a sales funnel page like
yep.
Cardflow or whatever, and that you need to have all this stuff. So I talk about the stuff that you need so they
Yes.
know what they're getting into. But it makes me angry how some people are lying to other people, and I just
Yeah.
don't. That's not
Yeah.
me.
Right. Well,
So
that's why I say that income number is a vanity number. It's almost just like a made up. I mean, you have to have income. You have to have people paying you real dollars to have a business. But the amount of money that flows in often doesn't bear a strong resemblance to how much money you get to put in your pocket at the end of the day. And that's what I want to make
mm,
sure that everybody does is to keep because we have this idea that our business is separate from us, that our business is all right. That's the business's money. And people, you get this idea that tax deductible means it's free. So if I can deduct this, then that means I'm not really paying for it. That's not true. That anything,
yeah,
any expenses come straight out of your profits. So if you think about it, it's you're trading profits for these business expenses. And
wow.
so it's a great idea to keep those as low, keep your business lean and hungry. You don't want your business gobbling up all your profits.
Oh my God. Yeah, so I guess a lot of us need to go and check what is it that we need and don't need and get rid of some things.
Yep. And we talk through that in the book too. Like, here's a good
Oh
way.
my
And
God.
you don't have to get overwhelmed with it. You can just like look at it a little bit at a time and kind of cull through your expenses and see what am I paying for every month? Am I actually using this? And to understand our own psychology, because there's a psychological trick that we all fall prey to, which says, if I own it, it must be valuable. So because I've
Mm,
already bought it, I'm
yeah.
sure that I'll find some way to use it. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, yeah, that's going to be useful. I've had it for a year and I've never used it, but I don't want to give it up because I might use it someday. Those are the kinds of things that all of us
Yeah.
do. Me
Yeah.
too. Every one of us does that.
No, I know. I agree
So,
with you. There's some things that
yeah.
I bought that were like lifetime. So I bought it and that's it.
Yeah. So,
And
right. So you
that's
don't have to
worth
worry.
it because, yeah, I don't have to buy the Filmora ever because I bought the Filmora per lifetime
Mhm.
or whatever is it that I bought lifetime.
Yeah. But pay attention to those too, because then when the next lifetime offer comes up, you can look at it and say, all right, all those other lifetime offers that I bought, how many of those do I still use? And did I
That's
get my
true.
money's worth out of them? So, just because it was just
Oh
one
my
price
God.
doesn't mean it was worth paying for at all. So it's hard because we're marketers, we understand marketing, and we understand that it works. It's the same thing for me. I see something and I think, wow, that's really going to make a difference in my business. And I buy it and I put it over here and I'll
You
get to
think the
it.
same way that you say the
Yeah.
same thing that I say to myself. I guess we all think alike. So what are 5 things that you wish you knew before you started your business when it comes to dealing with money, so that we can help the people that are about to start a business and not be in the middle like business like me, and then we don't know anything
Right.
about the money or the profit or
Right.
revenue or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
at least I'm vulnerable. I don't care saying that I don't know because I don't know everything, and that's why I needed you in here. Seriously.
Yeah. So the first thing is make sure that your business money is separate. So that's the golden rule. Just if as long as
Hmm.
and you don't need to set up a business account. You can only have a business account if you've set yourself up as a business and
Yeah.
registered as an LLC and gotten all your business. For most of us, that's overkill when we're starting. Now, if you're
Okay.
selling physical products, you absolutely need to have an LLC because that will protect you in the case of a lawsuit. If one of the
Okay.
products that you send out is defective, you need to have an LLC. But
Okay.
if you're doing coaching or if you're doing affiliate marketing, you don't need that right
Okay.
away. You can,
Okay.
but just set up a separate personal checking account that's over here on the side that all your business stuff goes through. So you're not mixing it up with your personal funds.
Okay.
Keep track of how much money you're giving your business, because no business is free. You can't start a business off of nothing. You're going to have to take some of your money and give it to your business, invest it in your business to start off with. But if you have it in a separate account, then that's easy to keep track of. You can see how much money did I invest in the beginning. What almost every coach and every class will teach you is invest in your business. You've got to take all of your profits and plow it back into your business. I don't know about you, but I don't have years and years to wait until my business turns a profit. I'm not working a full-time job and doing this. This is my income. So I
Yeah.
can't wait for years. So I need to be able to take a profit from the beginning. The reason
Mm.
it's okay, because here's the thing. If you say every bit of my profit that comes in, I'm going to spend it investing in my business, we very often make bad choices about what we invest in. If you've got this pot of money sitting there and someone's telling you spend it to invest in your business, you're going to find things to spend it on. But if you separate it out and say, okay, my business only gets 50% of the income, not all of it, it only gets half of it, then
Mm.
you've got this smaller pile of money to play with, and you're going to buy fewer things. And your business is going to work just fine. It's just as though
Mm.
your business were only making half of the income. You
Wow.
would find a way to make it work on half of the income. So if you can separate that out, and I know this sounds very fuzzy, but if you read the book, there's a lot more information about how to set this up.
Mhm.
So I make sure that don't worry about whether you're an LLC from the beginning, but just make sure that you get your accounts separated out.
Mhm.
As long as everything is going through there, as long as all of your income is coming into that account and all of your expenses are going out of it, your bookkeeping is actually pretty easy. You can do all
Oh,
of your
wow.
bookkeeping just through your bank statement or your credit card statement. And that's the other thing. Make sure you have a separate credit card that you only use for business stuff.
Okay.
So
Separate
essentially,
credit card. Mhm.
if all of your transactions, all your business transactions are going through that bank account and that credit card, your bookkeeping is 80% done.
Wow.
You just need to be able to categorize and say, and download my Schedule C worksheet to show you here's the types of expenses that you group together for tax purposes. You just put them all together on one column of an Excel spreadsheet, and it's done. It takes you a few minutes a month.
Wow.
It's really not hard.
Oh my God. This is like amazing, Julie,
Yeah. The
because
other thing I would tell you is to make sure one of the first things that everyone should do is set up a separate account to make sure that their taxes are separated out. Because I find that's the most stressful thing for most people. Like in your case, am I doing it right? But then for most of us is, how am I going to pay this? Because we get to the end of the year, and if your business has made a profit, your accountant's going to say, great, your business made a profit. You owe this much in taxes. Well, you spent that profit months ago. That money's gone. And so
Mhm.
where am I going to get the money to pay these taxes?
Exactly.
And so if you have been to every dollar that comes in, if you're taking a few cents of it and putting it aside in a separate account, when your tax bill comes due, you don't have to stress about it. And that is the best feeling in the world, knowing that
Mm.
my taxes are taken care of and I don't have to worry about it. It takes all that pressure off of you.
Okay.
And you've been doing this all along, so you know that your numbers are correct. You've got your numbers. So even if you haven't been keeping, even if you've slacked off and haven't done your bookkeeping, all you've got to do is look through your bank statements and your credit card statements, and an hour on a Sunday afternoon, you can be done. It's really, if all of it's together like that, it's not hard.
Okay. I'm glad. One thing that you said, that keep tracking of your money, because usually a lot of people ask, and I don't know if you've seen it because I'm in Facebook and a bunch of places. I want to start a business with no money, and I'm thinking, it doesn't matter what business you're going to try to do.
There is
You
no
are
business.
going to put money in that business, being that you're learning a course. I spent $15,000 on the first year that I did affiliate marketing to learn affiliate marketing,
Yep.
between the course and a branding thing.
Yep.
The branding was $10,000, money that I didn't even have.
Yeah.
So that was the
Yeah.
first year.
Yeah.
And a year and a half later, all I did was $1,500.
Yeah. So that's
So
the thing, taking a look at this and deciding how much am I willing to put into this business up front. And there's some things that are worth investing in, courses and coaches can be really important. And If you're going to be doing any kind of drop shipping, you're going to be paying fees to get onto all of these different platforms. You're going to be paying fees to get your email autoresponder set up. There is no business that you can start with no money. It just doesn't exist. So now what I think a lot of people are saying is I can start it from just the money that I have. So I can use just, it won't break me to invest. But that's what we end up doing. We spend $500 this month on my business, $600 this month, $1,000, and we don't count that as being business money because I'm just spending it out of my pocket. But you need to keep track of that. That is a personal investment in your business. So you're basically loaning your business money, and you need to keep track of that because your business needs to eventually pay that back.
Exactly.
If your business can't pay it back, then stop the business. You're not living for your business. Your business exists for you. So, you keep track of what you're giving it. And if it's taking too much, you got to stop. You just can't keep going forever. And the IRS gives you a hard and fast deadline. If you can't make it work by the 3rd year, you're done.
Wow. Oh, man.
Yeah. So, and that's not, I mean, obviously there are big corporations that run at losses. You watch the television shows like Shark Tank or the investors, all the virtual, I'm not virtual, but all the big venture capital funds, and they'll invest a lot of money and let a business run at a loss for 4, 5, 6 years. We can't afford to do that. We don't have deep pockets. We don't have anybody standing behind us with a checkbook. We have to do this ourselves, and you can't keep running a business at a loss for years and years. It's got to pay us. And honestly, it can if we pay attention. We just have to bring some attention to it. It's so much easier to not think, to say, yep, I need that. Yes, I need that. Yes, I need that, and buy everything. But if you just start paying a little bit of attention to it and bring some thoughtfulness to it, it's remarkable how quickly you can turn it around. It's not big and scary. It really isn't. I promise. It's
I have
not.
a question. I know this is a little bit, I don't know if it's in your area of expertise, but when you make a lot of money, if you invest that money in somewhere else, be in the stock market or real estate, would that count against you in the taxes? Because I thought that would be like it's not taxable. I don't know if it's correct.
Okay.
Am I making? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. You're mixing some things up a little bit. If your business is a corporation, and a corporation just means you've created a legal entity that's completely separate from yourself.
Yeah.
That is all, like, you have to have a board of directors and you have to have president, you have to have a lot of stuff set up. That business they can take their money, the corporation can take its money and do investments, but all the money that you make or lose belongs to the business. What you and I are doing with an S Corp or a C Corp or a sole proprietorship or partnership, the business is the same as us. And so it kind of doesn't matter whether you're investing with business money or with personal money. All that income still flows through to you personally. But there are their tax rates are different. The tax rate on capital gains from investing in the stock market is different from the tax rate on your personal income, your income from employment, or your income from business. Business taxes are pretty high. Because you're having to pay, how when you get a paycheck, you've got all the unemployment taxes and the Social Security and Medicare and all these taxes at the bottom that you have to pay. That's actually only half of the taxes that are due. Your employer pays the other half. When you're running a business, you have to pay both halves of those taxes.
Wow.
So you're actually you're paying a higher rate of taxes than an individual, but capital gains is lower than either of those. The money that you make on investing in the stock market is actually taxed at a lower rate than either your personal income or your business income.
Yeah, that's why I asked. So if you have a sole proprietorship and you take some of the money that you're making in your business, example, I buy a duplex and I rent it, so that's type of passive income, would that be taxed by the government? Does that make sense? I'm trying to understand that in my
it's basically it's just basically a different business. So that's just you setting up a different business. It's not your affiliate marketing business setting up a rental property. It's you setting up two different businesses, and they'll both flow in together and get taxed and
Mm,
you have to keep your expenses for that business separate from your expenses in your other
okay.
businesses, and then it all flows in together to your personal taxes. But that's the kind of
Okay.
stuff that a good cat tax accountant can help you with. If you get yourself
Okay.
into a situation like that, you absolutely need to go to a good tax accountant.
Okay. Yeah, and then we got now everybody buying virtual currency. I even got some because
Yeah,
everybody's talking about. I
yeah,
didn't pay too much money on that because I don't I have that much money
yeah.
to,
It's play money, don't, yeah,
exactly, yeah. But that's
yeah,
another thing. And they asked, I remember when I did the taxes, did you make any,
yeah,
did you buy
yeah,
virtual currency? And I'm like, no, but I at that time I had it anyway, so
right,
no. But I'm
yeah.
like, this is new in the taxes. I don't remember them asking
Right.
that.
This is a new thing, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens over the next couple of years with virtual currency. But yeah, so those are the kinds of things that as long as you keep good records, a tax accountant can handle that for you. So it's not anything for you to sweat. You just keep good records.
So if I decide to do any investment in real estate, I should have another bank account only for that because
Yes,
that's another business. So for
that's a
every
different
business
business.
that you have to have a personal account by itself.
It depends. It depends on how complementary they are. Like
Mm,
if you're doing affiliate marketing and e-commerce, I wouldn't split those up. I would keep those
okay.
two separately. But real estate investing is very different.
Okay.
Running the tax rules treat certain types of businesses differently, and property ownership and rental property is just treated differently than
Mm,
e-commerce or and then there's also coaching, and let's not forget sales tax too. Like that's an issue that you might have to deal with if you're selling physical products. So if you're selling on eBay or Amazon or Walmart, they collect the taxes for you. But if you're selling on your own Shopify store, then you have to worry about collecting sales tax from people and sending that in. Yeah, it has to be filed every month. So when you find
yeah,
yourself in those
I'm
situations,
not doing any of the other
yeah,
physical products anymore. I'm done over with that. It
yeah,
was too much of a pain, not only with the shipping, with the fees, with dealing with customer service and people
yeah,
demanding, because I was shipping from AliExpress in China and people want their product in a week or less because
right,
of Amazon. So I said, I'm not doing this again. I don't want to deal with that again. I'm just focusing on affiliate marketing and coaching. I'm not
absolutely.
doing that again.
Absolutely. But if people find themselves in that situation, that's something that a good bookkeeper can do for you as well, is to get those things filed for you every month. And if you're going to do it yourself, you just need to make sure that you set up something to remind you every month. Yep, I got to get this filed, because those are even if you're even if you didn't have any sales tax income that month, you still have to file with zeros. So you know how it is when you mess with the
Um,
government. You got to make sure you get things done on time.
yeah, definitely.
And then once you
Well,
start making money, you're going to have to file quarterly taxes, because they're going to want you to pay into your taxes every quarter rather than waiting till the end of the year.
also that you already have it at the when
You're
you
prepaying, yeah,
oh, okay, that's something that I read in the taxes and I didn't understand what was that. So I guess, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Like this has been a very interesting topic. I bet you can come back again and talk to more must so from the same thing, but in another angle, something else that people might need to know. I don't know how to ask because I don't know anything about
I
it.
know this is the thing.
If
You
that
don't know
makes
what you don't
sense. So
know. Yeah,
so think
absolutely. I'd
about
love to. Sure.
in your wheels and your mind. What is it that business people need to know that we didn't cover here? And then we decide another time for you to come because it was amazing. I'm like,
Absolutely.
wow. I need to get my house in order, my business in
Yeah,
order. I mean, you know what I mean,
yeah.
the
It
expression,
does.
but I'm saying I need to do some stuff.
Yeah, it's one of those things that feels like, oh, this is such a waste of time. I'm not making money. But the relief that you feel when this is in order, and you know that you don't have that money stress anymore, is almost unbelievable. Like this more than almost anything else will make you feel like you're a real business person, you're doing real work, and that you're actually going to be able to make a go of this. Like this, having your books in order, having your money straightened out, you just feel like a grown up. You feel like
Hmm.
I'm doing this. This is real. And so I love to talk
Yeah.
about it. I know I hope we're not boring people, but
No,
I try
I
to
think
make
people
it
that have business understand that this is like a very important thing. And I bet how many people that I'm not the only person that don't know anything about this. This is one of the areas that I can tell. I don't know. I mean, you helped me a lot in just this time, but
great.
I know I'm not the only person that don't know. I mean, like I said, it's not only a an issue with a business; it's personal finance overall in the
Yeah,
American
yeah,
households. We
yeah.
we we still don't know. I mean, look, we still don't know what we're doing with money, even in our personal life. So
And that's why I started teaching this class. I realized once I
yeah,
stopped working, I went back and thought about how much money do we have saved up for retirement, and what about the retirement savings from my very first job? And I realized, oh, they just wrote me a check and I just went out and spent it because I didn't know what a 401k was. I was 22 years old. I had no idea.
and they
So I,
tax you.
and not only that, but I calculated how much that cost me by not leaving that in the stock market, and the numbers is terrifyingly large. So if I had just left that
Oh,
money in and not spent that few $1,000s from when I was 22, that's another $1 million that would be in my bank account right now. So
oh
it
my God.
nobody teaches kids this, and so that's why I started teaching finance for young people, for people to understand. I mean, my son, like, he's as much money as he can get into the market or get into investments because he knows that he's got all the time in the world for it to grow. And so that's why it's fun to teach young people about it.
Since
But
you mentioned the 401, is there, I know that usually that's through your employer.
mhm.
What type of business is it? Can we do
Roth,
something like that, like a Roth
yeah,
IRA?
yep. You can do a Roth IRA or a standard IRA. So just a regular IRA, the money goes in, the money hasn't been taxed, and you put the money into your IRA, and then you tax the money as you withdraw it. With a Roth IRA, you pay taxes on the front end, but then the money as you withdraw it comes out tax free. So there's some little differences about that. Doesn't matter. Pick one, put money in it. But you can only fund it with profits from your business. This is another thing. It's another reason that you want your business to make profits, because you can put money away into accounts, but these particular accounts are set up as money that you've made. So you can make
Oh,
any kind of investments you want to, but the IRAs are set up as a way to put away income for future years. So even kids can do it.
oh,
If a kid is making money, as long as they're filing taxes, as long as they, put their babysitting money or their fast food money or whatever in their file taxes, they're eligible to start putting money into an IRA or a Roth.
maybe I think we found the next topic that we're gonna talk about. Seriously, because I didn't even know. I thought that you only can open a Roth IRA or standard IRA with your, if you're employed by somebody, not as
No.
a self-employed person.
Yeah.
And so,
401k is the one that you have to get through your employer. A Roth and a standard IRA are personal.
wow,
So that's what, and that's a great thing for all business people to do, is we're gonna have to fund our own retirements. And so there's nobody else putting that money in for us. We've got to do it ourselves.
wow, wow. Well, yeah, yeah. So if you don't mind coming back and talking about Roth
That'd
IRA,
be great. I'd love
because
to.
again, I don't know anything about that besides that you can put money away, just the basic stuff.
Yeah.
But but wow. So you can use a Roth IRA and standard IRA, but it has to be profit from your business.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is
Well, it
amazing,
has to be
Julie.
some income. It can be profit from your business combined with your income, your personal income.
Oh, it
So
can.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
So
you
that's
can,
good.
as
Profit
long
from
as you have
business.
some income in your taxes, you're eligible to put money away in those accounts.
Okay. Well, that's
All
great.
right.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
Thank
this
you
was
so
very
much.
fun. You're welcome. So, like I said, I'm having some technical problems right now, but by the end of the day, you should be able to go to babpro.com and
Yes.
hook up to get the book and download it, and let me know what you think. Send me questions. I'm happy to talk. I can talk about this all day. So,
Yeah, and
uh,
I put it in the comment for everybody to see in Facebook, two pages on Facebook and YouTube, your website. And yeah, so yeah, we already know Roth IRA is next thing. Thank you so much. You know what? You made it like you made it interesting. For me, it wasn't boring.
Good.
And then you were talking my language. I understood what you were talking about because I was like, oh my god, I didn't know if I was going to understand your technical thing. But
Right.
I'm glad that, and I need to get that book.
Right.
Because seriously, so thank you so much, Julie. I mean, this
You're
was amazing.
welcome. This
I,
was
I
so much
really appreciate
fun.
the time that you gave to come here to help
Excellent.
us. You have a blessed day, okay?
Yeah, you too. This is
Take
great.
care.
Okay,
Bye, bye,
bye-bye.
bye, bye, bye. So that was Julie Bjugan. Oh my God, guys. I am so happy because now I know what I need to do with my business. I mean, having a business is not easy, but it's worth it. And learning things that have to do with dealing money is ultra important. So please go into www.babpro.com and get your book, your ebook on called Badass something. So Badass Pro on how to deal with money. And this is not only for money business stuff, but also personal stuff. And if you have a business and you have a personal, you wanna get your personal money, budget in check, join the group of Julie Bjugan. So thank you so much for listening to us. And this is Mari Cruz, when you're the gap between the rich and the poor, coming for the great state of Texas. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.